topic for today. Awesome. Topic for today, creating your first web page using Adobe Express. The objective is to create your first web page using Adobe Express. This web page project will showcase you and can be used as your first draft for your portfolio using Dreamweaver and Bootstrap framework. What I want you to do is I want you to create this with the intention of these are the materials you're going to use for your final project. So this is a midterm project. You have 2 weeks to do it, so there's plenty of time. You'll have access to my slides, everything. So the things that we're going to include inside this sample website is everything Adobe Express can offer. This is including the header with either full or what's called a short cover, split layout, glide show, photo grid, photos, buttons, GIFs, videos, and text. So let's open this up, and I want to do a quick, I'll show everybody what this looks like when published. So it starts up, it loads. You will have your own unique URL that Adobe Express provides. And in the instructions, you'll see how I did all of this. And so today I'm hoping to get through all of the customizability that is within Adobe Express. But let's just take a look. If I can get the pointer to work, not work. Okay, so starting off, we've got, this is a cover page with a title, a subtitle. Then coming in to here, we have a split layout with one side with the photo, with the other side with some text, utilizing all of the different text that's available. H1, H2, a quote, a unordered list, an ordered list. So these are very, very similar. We've been studying these with HTML, but Adobe Express gives us these options, which is really cool, and a button. Button goes to my portfolio site with Adobe Portfolio. This is something that we set up in the Photoshop class, but I'm going to recommend that everybody does this and gets it done. So we have multiple options. My goal is to get everybody to have several pieces for your portfolio. So coming out of the Dreamweaver class, you should have like 5 websites, or an Adobe Express web page, or your portfolio, or your final project. So we're going to have about 5 that you're going to add to these. Next, I simply threw in a photo from my LinkedIn cover. I threw in a GIF using Giphy. This is Benny from the Lego movie, spaceship scene. I find myself very, very, like, I identify with Benny because a lot of times, right, what's our personalities, right? We can see ourselves in characters, and he's kind of like a manic, excited guy who's always trying to build spaceships, and everybody's like, no, don't, it's not time for a spaceship. And then finally they're like, all right, yeah, spaceship. So that's a simple GIF. There are literally thousands of these GIFs that are available. Giphy is the website that we get them from. Next, I have another split screen. So here's an example of a work. So here's a logo I created, some explanation about the logo, which is, this is a great time to say, what is the logo? Why did you create it? What software did you use? Any of that information that would be helpful on top of the actual work. So split screen works really, really well. Split layout. Next, got this great YouTube video that I put in of the actual clip from the movie from when he's building a spaceship. So it goes to YouTube.
End of the line. Bad cop?
I hope there's still a good cop.
But that's just an example of, as I went out, let me come back inside. So a GIF, split layout, a video. Now this is what's called a glide show. This is kind of fancy, right? This is something, I'm sure you could create something with some CSS tricks, but this is where Adobe Express is very, very powerful. You can put one of these together in an afternoon and it would look spectacular. You'd spend a bunch of hours doing something similar with HTML and CSS. So that is a good thing. Basically in these, I've got the first slide, some information about the classes, and as we scroll through, it alternates where the text is, and it shows the 5 courses that I've created so far for PETA. And it explains a little bit about the course, what the badge is, how long it took, what software I used to create. So this is a great way, and it doesn't necessarily have to be just portfolio stuff. It could be stuff from your life. Show your personality, show your love for something. Okay, going through all these. Then we have another GIF of holiday Legos to kind of show kind of my style. Like I identify with Lego Company. I think they're a great company, and I love their mission to increase play and imagination. So there's that. Then what we have here is a photo grid. And basically all I did was I took all those different courses that I've taken over the years with LinkedIn Learning. I saved them as a JPEG because you can't display a PDF. That's just kind of a general rule when it comes to web development. You can't display a PDF, but you can set it for download. But I have each of these. You can click them, which brings up a larger image, and you can cycle through them, seeing what each one of them is. Then I have all of the Adobe certificates, and then we have our area at the bottom for our footer. So this is going to be an exciting way for you to be creative and to see all the different things that Adobe Express can do. Okay, so I want everybody to open up your computer, and we're going to all go through Adobe Express, and I'm going to walk everybody through these steps so you can see it. And if you have any questions, feel free to stop me and ask them. I'm happy to answer. But I think that you'll find that the instructions are, they may be too much at times. But there's 3 different versions of Adobe Express. We've got a mobile version. It's great for your phone. We've got a Windows desktop or Mac desktop version, and we have an online version. All 3 can be used for your projects, and you could probably open it up on tablet. If you've got an iPad, you probably could open it up. At the very least, the web version. I don't know if they have an iPad version. I don't have an iPad, so do they? Okay, great. So yeah, so iPad, mobile, desktop, or online. We're going to go with the online version to make it easy so everyone's on the same page. Everything should look and function similar on all, but just to make sure that the instruction is what you see, we're going to use the online version. To do that, we're going to go to the web address new.express.adobe.com, or you can go to a Google search and type in Adobe Express as we see here. It's going to ask you to log in. Some of us log in like through our Gmail, and it'll automatically log us in, or you may have to put in your Adobe username and password. So I want everybody to do that, log into Adobe, and then let me know when everybody's at this main welcome screen. All right, excellent. So moving forward, how to create our first web page from Express. We're going to click the web page button in the list of quick actions, or you're going to go up to the search and type in web page, which is going to lead us to a screen that looks like this. That's going to have several templates that are available. Now, these templates are incredibly fast to get you going. So if you've got a project, so this is how you could hammer out one of these web pages for each place that you work for, and you could put that in your resume. I don't know how many other people would build a custom web page for a job, but that might be a competitive advantage that we have. So looking from this list, we can find a template that we're interested in, or we can create from scratch. So we have pre-made, and we could do everything from our own. And some of us are creative and you want to have full control. This is a great way to start. We are not going to create from scratch. We are going to choose the My Class Portfolio template. So go ahead and scroll through the list until you see the green chalkboard class portfolio. You're going to click it. It's going to open up a bigger screen, and you're going to have the option of preview or select. If you hit preview, you're going to get to this screen with a description about the template, and you can either use this template, you could share the template, or you can press the X to go back. We're going to use this template or click the select button. Depends on which screen you're in. If you went into preview, use the template. If you went directly from the main page, use select. Next, we're going to go in the top left panel. You should have some kind of untitled and the date and time. You're going to click the title, and we're going to change the name to My Portfolio. So go ahead and click the title, change it from untitled, the date and time, to My Portfolio.
Am I going to choose extracurricular activities, learning journal, or writing portfolio?
Go ahead and scroll down a little bit. You're going to find the one that is, there it is right here. Select. Yeah. So yes, perfect. All right, excellent. Yes, George. So you're a little bit ahead.
My
Get the
class
X here on the themes.
portfolio.
Good. And then just hang, you're right where you need to be. Very good. So once you add your name, and this could be, this is the name of the file that's going to be created. This is the title of your web page. For the purpose of this, we're just going to call it My Portfolio. Later, if you've got a funny or witty name, use it. Right? If you've got something that kind of fits your style, we're going to change it, but this is the area where we name it. Next, Adobe Express is what's called a WYSIWYG editor, and WYSIWYG stands for what you see is what you get. Dreamweaver is very, very similar in that there's a lot of buttons and you don't have to code, but Dreamweaver gives you the ability to code, which is a huge advantage. Adobe Express does not give us the ability to code. So that's kind of the difference between the two. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the magic wand button for themes in the top right. This is going to open up the edit themes window on the left-hand side. We can either create a new theme or we can select one that's previously created. There are several on the list. You don't have to stick with the exacts of that list, but you might find something that's pretty close, and that's a whole lot faster than creating everything from scratch. So we're going to click Create New Home, or Create New Theme button, and then this is going to open up the Create New Theme dialog box, and in the left-hand side, we're going to have all of our options in the different panels. I'm going to explain what all of these does and how we can best utilize them. Now, this is simply customization of the theme. We haven't gone into actually building out our web page. However, we're going to get to that in part 2. So the first part, you can make several changes to your web page design here, including the logo section. So you can add a logo. Well, Deuce, I don't have a logo.
Let's see the new create theme button.
So right here, create new theme. So I don't have a logo, Deuce. Well, you can create a logo very easily with Adobe Express. Everything that we're going to talk about, you can either create with Adobe Express or utilize stuff that you have already created. Some of you have things and you've come previously with materials and you just haven't organized it into a portfolio. But we're going to do that with this process, and then you're going to find when we build the website for the final, you already have a lot of this stuff done. It's going to be super, super easy. It's just a matter of time and data entry. So the logo, you can update the logo in a JPEG or PNG format. The logo shows up in the top left of your web page once you add it, or you can choose not to have a logo. That's fine too. Next, we're going into the page elements. Inside the page elements, we have background, title, header, and footer. For the background, this is the main color of your web page. So think about any of the background information that is going to be displayed on. Now, for good design, we want great contrast. So when we come to the background, you want to make sure you either have a dark background and light text, a light background, dark text. You want some contrast. So this is where you would set all that up. Now, in the styles, this is going to give us our main our main headline page that we're going to put our H1 and our H2 information. How do you want it to look? And you can click through the different styles to see some of these have a background, some have a shape, some are rounded, some have lines. This is where you would define that style. Next, in the color section, we have text title, subtitle text, shape, border, and background. These are all different parts that align to the title and subtitle section. So if we select one with a background, we can have a background color. If we select one with the shape, we can choose the shape color. Now, the shapes are very limited. Unfortunately, these are the only ones that we have available to us. So this kind of shows we're already seeing some limitations within Adobe Express. Text, title, and subtitle text. These are font types, styles, and all caps. So just like you have with your Adobe account, you have access to Adobe fonts, and you can come in here and you can change the title text to a different font. Our current font is Montserrat, and the style is thin. Think of style as bold, italics. Each font could have multiple, but this is where you would figure out what does my typography need to be. And then the all caps button, if you check it, everything that you type in that section will automatically be in all caps, regardless if you have caps lock or holding shift. It will all be caps. Now below that, we have our subtitle text. This is the text that goes below our title. In the case of this theme, we have our portfolio and then by our name. Then at the bottom, we have the reset changes button. If you ever go, I really don't like this, and you want to default to what was original, you can hit the reset changes button. Next, you can either hit the left arrow button in the top left of your screen or save or cancel. Now, if you make changes, we must save, okay? I want everybody to make sure you click the left arrow so we can go back. We're going to go into the next section, which is header. And if I'm going too fast, let me know. But we're in the next section called header. This contains options to turn on your logo or your button. We have these toggle switches where you can turn your logo on or off. Do you want to see it? Yes or no? On or off? And then the button, you could have an additional button next to your logo. This could be a, contact me. This could be a link to your portfolio with Adobe Portfolio. This could be if you have a website, like another hosted domain somewhere, you could add an extra button. The style is the style of said button. Is it square? Is it rounded? Or is it fully rounded? What does the button text say? So if it's portfolio, we would type portfolio in here. Then we would place the URL to our portfolio. And then down here, we can change the text and background of our header section. Now, if you're using an image as your background, you won't have the option for a color because there's an image over it. But if you remove the image, and we're going to see that later, the removed image will affect the text and the background. You always want to think about contrast and readability. Super, super important. If your visitor cannot read your site, they're not going to have a good experience. And if it's something for like a job or something that is super, super important, you're going to want to make sure that you remove all friction to have a great experience. Next, the footer area. So we're going to go back again. So left arrow out of header. We're going to go into the footer section. Now in the footer section, this is that area at the very bottom of the web page. And this is the only area that the footer information is accessible. The footer information is not accessible in the main web page. So just kind of be warned about that. Now, we can add a logo to our footer. We can change the background of the footer. We can add buttons to the footer, and these buttons can be our social media links: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, and you can change the alt text. So the alt text, anytime that you see this, this is for people that have disabilities, or if the image isn't displayed, we want to put some kind of alt text descriptive of what it is. Next, we have our social links at the bottom. Add Instagram, add Facebook, add Twitter, X, and then down at the bottom, you can see a preview of what your footer could look like. We're going to go back to the text elements. Now, when you're adding text, there's a lot of options that we have within Adobe Express. We have H1, H2, quote, ordered, unordered list, alignment, and hyperlinks. So we have all those different options, and we're going to go through with examples on all those. So the first one, the H1, this is your largest text on the page. And so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to change the text or shape color, which is based off of the style. So is there no shape? Is there one line, two lines, or this fancy ornament type of style? If you have one that has a shape, you have the ability to change the text and the shape color. If there is no shape, there is no color option for the shape. So the heading 1 text, you're going to choose the font type, style, and all caps options. You're going to see as you change these inside the page, it shows you what it looks like. So it gives you an example as you're sorting through your fonts. I'm just going to stick with the Montserrat Light, the default through all of this, just to make it easy. However, when you put this together, you're going to want to find your own style. You're going to want to find fonts that make sense and that speak your style. So here's what it looks like. The heading 1 is larger. Then we've got our body text. We have bold text. We have italicized text. We have bold and italicized text. That's the extent of what we can do with the size and shape of our font in Adobe Express. It is extremely limited, but that also could be a good thing because you don't have to make a lot of design choices. Next, we've got our H2. H2 only has the color option. There is no shapes or styles available for the H2. You can change the font type and style. Fairly simple. Next, we have our paragraphs. A paragraph in Adobe Express is simply our body text. And this is any text that isn't specifically a H1 and H2 or a quote text. And it also affects your list items. So your list items are considered paragraph text as well. So we are going to choose the font type in the paragraph style. Go left click the arrow. We're going to go into the quotes section. A quote is simply something that somebody said, but it can be stylized and it can be different. So in your project, you're going to want to create some kind of a quote. And if it's something that provides you inspiration, then it's a good thing. I'm a big fan of Jim Rohn, as everybody knows. My quote was, the success is nothing more than a few disciplines practiced every day. It could be as simple as, eat healthy, your name, or somebody that you admire. Quotes are a great way. And we have different styles for the different quotes. We can see an example as we're creating it. Again, we have the text and shape colors if the style permits it. And we have the quote font, style, and all caps. So if you want it to be a little bit larger, go with the all caps. But otherwise, we don't have control of how big the text is. This is, I think, is a major disadvantage with Express web pages, because sometimes you want to make things larger. You want to give more emphasis, or maybe you want to make it smaller if you want to de-emphasize something. Anyone ever see commercials where they have all the fine print, right? And it's like 800 words in a tiny little. So maybe by law they have to put it, but the law doesn't say it has to be readable. That would be an example of de-emphasizing text. Whereas the bold text, this would be, you know, I don't know, this pill makes you happy, right? Big bold text. Hey, be happy, don't be depressed. And then like in the little text that goes, you know, may cause you to kill yourself. But hey, be happy, right? It's like they don't want to tell you all the negatives of the thing. And it's quite interesting. If you look at these materials, you may have to create content that has negatives. There's certain things that we can do to still stay within compliance and still be legal. All right, moving forward, we're going to go back and we're going to click the links and button elements. So in this, we have buttons. The buttons can be styled just like the other materials. If there is a background in the button, we can change the background color. If there is a shape, we can change the shape color. Excuse me, the border color of the button. So depending on the button that you choose, and this will be across all buttons that you put inside your project. And then in the button text, we can change the font type, and we can choose all caps on or off with the checkbox. Next, we're gonna go look at the text link. So this is if you put a hyperlink inside your Adobe Express web page. A hyperlink simply takes you to another website. You can change the style, either the resting style, the normal style, and the hover style. When you put your mouse over the button, or excuse me, the link, what happens? You can change both the normal and the hover colors to fit your design. Okay, next we're going to get into the photo elements. So photo elements starts with what's called inline. And inline photos are standalone photos that have a caption at the bottom. These photos are a fixed size and cannot be resized. You can change the alt image text and see information about the image, such as copyright, title, and image attribution. So this would be simply, you wanted to add a photo directly in that section of your Adobe Express web page, and it's simply one photo. At the bottom, we can have a caption. You can change the styles of the caption, either if it has a background or not. And then if you have the background, you can change the color of the background and the color of the text. Next, you can change the text, the actual font that is used in the caption. Next, we have a full width photo. Full width photos cover the full width of the web page from left to right and will resize the photo vertically to maintain proportions. Just like inline photos, you can change the styles, colors, and the full width text. So this is a great example if you have something that's shot in a landscape, right? So if we've got our phone, if we turn it sideways, we take the photo. Those landscape photos work really, really well with full width, and they will utilize all space. Alternatively, as we reduce the size of the browser window, the full width image will responsively change according to whatever the width is. So this is a great use if you have a major asset that you want to display. Next, a window. A window contains a full width image with a glide show feature and a floating caption. So instead of it being at the bottom, the caption, there's a box inside the photo, and you can modify what the text inside the box says. But unlike a glide show, this is only for a single image. So a glide show, you can use multiple images. The window uses a single image. Now, you can change the text in the background of the box. You can change the font and the style inside the text, the window text options, if you wanted all caps or not. And then transparency is the first time we're talking about that. That is if we want to be able to see the image that is behind here. It's kind of like a frosted or a half visible box. if you click the transparency box on. If you turn it off, you will still be able to see your text, but you will also be able to see behind for the image. Next, fill screen, which is similar to the full width, except the photo covers the entire screen of the web page and will resize the photo vertically and horizontally to maintain proportions. So it will take up all available space, the entire screen. Next, we can add the same options: text, background, font style, font, and transparency. Next, we've got a photo grid. Photo grid allows you to have the addition of many photos arranged like a collage. And as you add the photos, the grid will automatically be filled in. You can move these photos, delete them, resize them as either a small or large image. So the options in here is we have the caption style, we have the colors, background, and text if the caption has a background, and then the grid text. Once we create the photo grid, you can easily click on any image and you can choose if you want a smaller image or a large image. Unfortunately, those are the only options for resizing of your images, but you can move your photo grid around, and so that can be helpful. Next, the glide show. The glide show is a great way to use engaging photography to tell your story. They can include text, buttons, and inline photos. Opacity is a transparency checkbox that can be checked for a transparent background. So very, very similar to the other options. And as everybody can see, Adobe does a lot of reoccurring themes. So once you kind of learn one of these, it becomes fairly easy to use them. And just like from the example, the glide show will bring the image up. Then the text box will come up underneath. Once the text box scrolls through, the next image pops up. You do not need a text box, but you can add it. Next, once you've made your desired edits to the theme, click the Save button on the top right of the screen. If you have not updated the name of the theme with a custom name, click the pencil icon and rename your theme. So we did this in the beginning with the name of our project. The theme itself, once we modify it or we create a new, we need to name that theme specifically and it will be added to our list. Two completely separate things, but the process is similar. You simply click the pencil, you name your theme. This is just for your own reference. Maybe in the future you're going to reuse the same theme. You want to use good naming conventions. When you're done, hit save or hit cancel if you want to go out of the options. Next, I want everybody to click the X in the themes panel. This will close the themes panel. Everybody with me so far? Click the X next to themes in the top left of the screen. Awesome. Next, we're getting into the actual modification. So here's where kind of like the meat and potato. So we went in with all of the customization that's available. But now, all right, Deuce, how do we create that? How do we create that design that you showed us? How do we recreate the example? We're going to go into that right now. The first part, we're going to modify the web page template by clicking each area and replacing its content with custom content. Each container can be modified with the options in each of the My Class Portfolio template, and they will be explained below. Now, in Adobe Express, each of these areas are considered sections. A section is any area that contains a portion of the website that will be referred to as a section. If HTML, so if we were thinking about this in Dreamweaver, a section could be like a div tag. So it is a separate area that contains content. Sections can be added or deleted using the plus icon. Now, you might be saying, Deuce, this theme doesn't look like the one that I created. I used that other theme, new fig, the first one on the list, just to make it easy. So if you click the themes button and you look at the first theme on the list, there's like a yellow background. That's the one you want to select to have it look like this theme. Now, later, you may decide, hey, I want to change a bunch of this. you can change and update it at any time without losing your content. That is an advantage of Adobe Express. Next, once you hit the plus icon, so does everybody see the plus icon? You may need to scroll down slightly. You're going to click the plus icon and you're going to have a pop-up screen with all of the available content types in this screen, such as photo, text, button, GIF, video, photo grid, glide show, split layout, and your stuff. I'm going to explain what all these different items are in this next section. So a photo, this is to add a photo or choose upload from device or select the Adobe stock images provided. So you click photo, you either add your own photo or you simply select one from the list. If you don't have a photo, you can find one with Adobe Express. There are thousands. Next, text. So if we click the text button, we get a new text area. In the text area, we have type options. You can change your text in many ways. You're going to highlight your text after you write it, and you're going to click any one of the following options: H1, H2, quotes, ordered list, unordered list. The first T is bold, the second T is italics, the link button, left aligned, center aligned, or right aligned. Here's what an example of all of those look like for this template. So I simply created what do all these look like, and it gives you a good idea. Now you can use the edit theme section to see all of this. You don't necessarily have to make this inside your actual presentation, right? To see what it looks like. You could simply use the H1 and put your own text. But I wanted to show what all of them is. Next, we have the button. The button is adds a button and change the button text, URL, or alignment. When done, click save or cancel. So a button is simply a link to somewhere else. You name your button, you put your link in, you change your alignment where it is in that section, click save, or you can always hit cancel. Now, a preview of the button will be shown at the bottom of what that button looks like. What's that, Victor?
Sometimes I feel sad when it comes to my long losses.
Oh, all right. Well, we will continue on. The next area is the GIF. A GIF is basically several images put together that create movement or create animation. GIF can be used in many different ways. Generally, what you would do is you would create a GIF from the website Giphy.com. And you would grab the link from Giphy.com, you'd place it in here, and you'd click the save. Now, the size of the GIF, it is fixed. We can't affect that, unfortunately. Next, video. Oh, yes.
Adobe Express, it specifically says add a link from Giphy, so it has to be from Giphy.
Yes. So if you've got your own GIF, create an account with Giphy and upload your own GIF, and then use. So there are ways around this. Sometimes we have to be creative, but yes, unfortunately, you can't just upload your. That'd be nice if you could, but yes. Next, video. So we're going to add a link to a YouTube, Vimeo, or Adobe Express project. If we want to add video, we're going to click save. Next, our photo grid. This is where you're going to add your photos to build your grid. Upload from device or choose photos from Adobe stock images provided. As you add photos, the grid grows and you can move, reorder, and resize images from your grid and click done. When you're done, click the save or cancel button. So you can easily simply click any here. You can upload your photos. Now, if you have PDFs that you need to display, such as Adobe certificate, a certificate from a LinkedIn learning course, or any other PDF that you have, what I like to do is open it up in Photoshop, file, export as a JPEG. If you don't know how to do that, I'm happy to help you. There are also tools within Adobe Express that can do these things. Sometimes, like I said, you have to be creative when it comes to your creation. Okay, now as we add photos, yes.
In Adobe Express, can you add a link to an image? Or
No. But if you save that linked image, you can put it in your stuff in Adobe Express and you can use it, or you could use the file. Okay, so as this fills out, you're gonna have buttons below each photo to rearrange, to put the photos up or down. You click the image and then you have the option to go with a larger or a smaller version of the photo. And this is gonna rearrange kind of how the grid lays out. And like I said, when you're done, click the save button. Glide show is very, very similar. You're gonna first put in your background images so you can upload. You can grab stuff directly from Adobe Express. Once you have your image, you're going to click on the save, and then inside the actual project, that's where you add your glide show elements. So this screen for adding the glide show is only for your background images. Once you click save and you get to the next section, that's where you would add each title, subtitle text for that image. Next, split layout. Split layout splits your container to a left and a right side. Now, there's only this option to where you have an image on one side or a photo on one side, and then you have these different options that we've already talked about. If you want to, you can flip or alternate which side the photo's on in the split layout. So you're gonna come in, you're gonna click the plus to open up this menu. Say you wanna add a photo, then you wanna add text, then you wanna add a button, then you wanna add a GIF and a video. You could do all of those things within a split layout. Now, split layout will take up the full screen, and basically it will scroll through. The photo will stay on the screen. But what if you have more content than that fits in the box, it will scroll through. Okay, next, we have the area which is our stuff or your stuff. As we create things within Adobe Express, they get added to our your stuff area. And what's cool about Adobe Express is it keeps everything that you create. And so if you have something that you've created with Adobe Express, you can simply click it, and then here it will show you a list of all the things that you've created. You can click it and it shows up on the screen. All right, so we're going to go through the steps to recreate the example. So I want everybody to scroll back up to the top of the page, and you should see my class portfolio by student name. Does everybody see that part? Yes? Good, good. So what we're going to do in that top part, you're going to name your portfolio. I named mine Deucelandia. You could name it My Portfolio. It can be any name. If you have something clever or that kind of fits you, or if you're going to create like an agency or your own design company, you could use that name, or you could simply put My Portfolio. Then below it, you're going to take out the bracket, student name bracket, and you're going to put your first and last name, because this is your portfolio. So go ahead and add those. Today what we're in Adobe Express in the web page section. I'll make sure to get you all the slides so you can get caught up. You'll have everything. All right. So while we are waiting, are you able to log into Adobe Express? In the top, type in web page in the search bar.
I'm in the middle of editing.
So save in the top. Okay. Choose this one, the Nora Fig Tree style. Okay. And then you're going to find the one that says class portfolio. It's like a green chalkboard. You may have to scroll down. Somehow they got you in a different section. So go back to the top of the web page and then click over the option for page. I'll take web page templates. Scroll down on the chalkboard. portfolio, select, say it loads, you should be exactly where we are. First part is us simply talking about the customizability of the template. The button, select a Aura fig tree in your style, hit the theme X, the top left of the themes, hit the X. Good. Change class by class portfolio to your name or portfolio and then by student name. So is everybody up to speed where we are? Perfect. Next, we have our main area of the section. And if you click inside the photo, you get another section of options. These are how you modify the visual assets. Clicking inside the web page section will bring up a menu that to modify the focal point, replace, delete, short cover, or split cover. So these are options for this section. I want everybody to click the focal point option, and the focal point brings up a circle. And as you click and drag the circle, this is what the web page will zoom in on when we go to a mobile format. So on a widescreen display, it might show your whole image. But if you look at it from a website with a very small width, it's going to focus on wherever you put your focal point. When you're done, click save. I put the focal point on the little pencil bar, the little pencil cup. Click save. So then when we look at it from a mobile view, you could see that the pencil is in the center. This part is in the center view. Next option, I want you to click inside the image, and I want you to choose the replace. So replace the image with another. Click the replace button, choose upload from device. To upload your own image, you're going to choose upload from your own device, or you can select from the Adobe stock. We are going to type in the search the word portfolio directly below the upload from device. When you type in portfolio, you're going to get a list of images. I want you to find the one that looks like a chalkboard. It says portfolio, and there's like a paper, crunched up yellow paper that looks like a light bulb. Does everybody see that? Go ahead and click that portfolio. That should change the image from that green chalkboard to this image. Next, you can delete your image. If you click, I don't want you to delete the image because we're going to use it, but if you click the image and you click delete, your background image goes away. And then we see our background color that we talked about in our customization or our edit theme section. Okay, next. We have two different types of covers. We have a short cover and then we have cover. A short cover is a slimmed down version of this image, and it's very small, as you can see. So it's only, 10% of the browser at the top. If you click the image and you choose short cover, it reduces the size of that section. Does everybody see the short cover option? Okay, once you are in short cover, you can return to cover by clicking the cover button. So short cover becomes, so if it's full size, the option is short cover. If it is short cover, the option becomes cover. So you can switch between, do I want full screen or do I want 20% screen? Whatever that amount, whatever that amount at the top percentage wise. It's just, I would like to say half, but it's like a quarter. Okay, and then it goes back to the full cover image. Next, we're going to go below that area. So you're going to scroll down until you see the first plus. And in the first plus, you're going to choose split layout. A split layout, it splits your cover into two separate areas between two sides, a left and a right side. There, if you go over the middle, you're going to see two arrows that are left and right. By clicking the two arrows, you can alternate the covers from one side to the other. You can also choose to click inside an empty space, and you can choose short cover or cover for that particular piece. So these are the options within split layout from the center icon. Everyone okay? Good, good. So the first split is a photo. The second split has many options. You can add photo, text, button, just like before. It's just half the screen. So it's either the full screen or it's half the screen. But all of the options remain the same. So here's the text options. Here's all of the text options that we talked about. Buttons, GIFs, video, your stuff. So just like before, we're starting to see a pattern with Adobe Express. It's like you're going to do the same thing like 15 times as you're building your website. But the cool thing is, once you learn how to do it once, it becomes very, very easy. So next, we're going to modify each section in the theme with your custom content. So starting with the first section under our head. So we've got that portfolio image, and then directly below it, you're going to click the plus sign and choose the split layout option. In the left section, you're going to add a photo. So instead of us all trying to get through all of this together, I'm going to go through how I did this. You're going to end up with all of the slides. And my goal is by Monday is to have all of this in like a written PDF to make it even easier. So the goal is this first section, take a photo of yourself or something that's important to you. Maybe you're at an event, add that photo. Maybe it's a portfolio project that you're super happy about, that you're like, man, this is like the #1 thing I want to be known for. Add that as your photo. Then in the right-hand section, you're going to create your first custom section. So I want you to, we can go through this part. You're going to click the plus on the right-hand side, and you're going to choose text. And in the first one, we're going to type in, hello, my name is, put your name. Then you're going to highlight that text, and you're going to click the H1 button to make that text a headline text. Then you're going to click the plus button again, and you're going to add your professional summary. What is it that you want to be known for? Are you a graphic artist? Are you a videographer? Are you a website designer? Now, you might say, well, Deuce, I'm none of those things yet. What do you want to be? So adding, I'm a professional graphic artist. I'm an illustrator. I'm a website developer. I'm a project manager. Whatever it is, you're going to then highlight that text, and you're going to choose H2 to style that text. For the one that I created, I put, I am a graphic, web, and social media designer, certified in Adobe creative software, including, now here's where it kind of gets weird. If you hit enter, you create another text box below it. Bless you. And so it becomes like, so I wanted a little bit of space between the this first part and the second part. So I had to click the plus icon again, add another text box, and then I continued on, and I put all of the certifications there, Express, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Dreamweaver, et cetera, was the next part that I put. But I had to separate with two different text areas. Now, if in your description of who you are, you don't need any extra space, you don't have to do this extra plus. But that's how we would do separation. So if you need clear separation, white space, that's how you would do it. Next, we're going to click the plus button again. So this is what I'm talking about, the repetition of building this thing out. We're going to click the plus button again, or press the return or enter key to add a new line of text. And I want you to add a quote from your favorite author or someone that you look up to. So for me, I wrote, success is nothing more than a few disciplines practiced every day, Jim Rohn. Then once you write your text, you highlight it and you choose the quote button. This will now make your text a quote text. Next, we're going to click the plus button again, and we're going to add a new line of text that says, here's a few things that I'm proud of. Highlight that text, click the bold button. So the purpose of this is I want you to use all these different options. I want you to get used to it, and the best way to get used to it is to use it. So here are some things I'm proud of. Then click the first T button for bold. Make that text bold. Then we're going to add another plus sign for text. And in this text, you're going to write the first thing that you're proud of. I wrote, completing my associate's degree in multimedia. Then you're going to highlight that text and you're going to choose the unordered list or the bulleted list button, and that's going to start your bulleted list. Now, every time you hit enter, it will add your next bullet. So then you put your second bullet. I received a bachelor's degree. Then the third bullet, earning 12 professional certifications in Adobe software, including 4 specialty certifications. That completed my unordered list of 3 things I was proud of. You can have more than 3, but I want you to put 3 in of 3 things. So remember, this is your portfolio. This is something that you can use to make a good impression on a potential employer. So what are the things? Not one time I sang Yankee Doodle while drinking a glass of water. Not some random thing that doesn't help you. This should be something that an employer sees and goes, oh, that's impressive. I speak 3 languages. I'm an accomplished videographer. I worked for this company. I worked with this famous person. Anything that will help prove your worth in the eyes of somebody else. 3 things you're proud of. Next, click the plus icon again and add a new line of text that says, my next 3 goals for 2025. So we're going to add a new section for my next 3 goals for 2025. Then we're going to click the plus. So in that text, you're going to make it italic. You're going to highlight over the text and you're going to hit that second T to make it italic. Then below that, you're going to click the plus again, and you're going to add your first goal. So you first have to type something into the text box. Then you need to style it with the ordered list button. And in the ordered list button, that's going to give you a 1. You're going to put your 3 goals. I added earn the Adobe Acrobat certification. Then finish the Adobe Premiere Pro, After Effects, and Animate programs for PETA. Third one, launch Eagle's Wing nonprofit. So these are 3 goals that you're going to have in 2025. It could be get certified in Photoshop, get certified in Dreamweaver, finish courses at PETA, get working in this field or for this person. You may specifically create this because you're targeting a company and maybe one of your goals is to work for said company. Put it in your list, right? I want to work for MGM. That's my goal, is to be a content designer for MGM. That could be a goal. So you're going to add it to your list. Next, we're going to hit the plus icon again, and we're going to add a new line of text that says, check out my website, visit my Adobe portfolio, check me out on Instagram, some kind of button text. Then you're going to highlight that text and you're going to click the link button. This is going to open up the link dialog box and you're going to type in the address for the link. This could be your LinkedIn account. This could be your Adobe portfolio. This could be your Instagram. This could be your business. Any link that can be helpful for you, you're going to add here. I chose my Adobe portfolio, and with that link, it's https://deucebrent.myportfolio.com. You get a free portfolio with your Adobe account. It's a great product for producing and showing your work. And there is a full LinkedIn learning course on how to put it all together. So we don't have to wait until the Photoshop class to put it together. You all could do it in a weekend if you chose to take on the challenge. Now, click the plus button again and choose button. So we're not choosing text, we're choosing button. And then we're going to add the button in the add button menu, change the button text to visit my Adobe portfolio, click me, or something if it's visit my Instagram, see me on LinkedIn, join my Facebook group, whatever it is that your button was previously. And then you're going to add the URL. I use the URL for my portfolio. Change the alignment to your button to left, center, or right. This is going to affect where it is in the section. You can choose any alignment that you like. When you are done, click the save button.
I think I have my other portfolio. You want to see it?
Not right now, but that's the one we created. That's the one that you can use for your button. So get the live view for your portfolio, and then use that address for your button. Okay, next. So that completes that first split layout section. We have a photo and we have all of this stuff. So I'm going to go put this over here. Now, something that I didn't talk about, but you can do, there's a play button inside the top right of your Adobe Express. This allows you to preview the site. So that's simply this first left section. Hello, my name is, my professional summary. If you scroll down, a quote, then a few things I'm proud of. An unordered list, the next goals for 2023, an ordered list, check out my Adobe portfolio, and then visit my Adobe portfolio link. So can everybody kind of see how that's just this second section? Think about it like this. If somebody only had 30 seconds to review your stuff to make a decision if they go further, this is about as far as you're going to get. That's why it's designed this way. Get your name out, get your professional summary. Here's some important things. Here's my goals. Here's the next step. Simple. But here's the thing. If you catch somebody's eye, and this was a photo or a graphic that I created to display all of the Adobe certifications. Moving back to the assignment. Next, we're going to use Adobe Express for all of the other options to show your portfolio and your personality. Now listen, this is about us as individuals. This is about you specifically. This isn't for you to promote your favorite band, a side project or hobby. This is specifically designed to help you get employment. Now, if you have these projects and you have these things, you can add sections, but this has to be the main subject is you. Does that make sense? Now, here's the cool thing about Adobe Express web pages. You can make another one for your hobby. You can make another one for your business. You can make another one for your fan page, right? I could make a Legoland vacation Adobe, but I'm not going to use that to try to get employment. That's like a fun thing that I like. You got to think in terms of what does the employer want to see and how am I going to make the best impression for the employer? Yes, I want what I want. You want what you want. But rarely does that line up with what the employer wants or needs. So we have to give them content to help them make a decision to hire you. Give you a chance, right? Because all we need is an opportunity. Now, this is going to simply make your case, hopefully to get you an interview. This next section, using all the different parts. Use all the Adobe Express options to show your portfolio work, your personality, what you love, using glide shows, photo grids, GIFs, videos, images, certificates, resume, anything else that you have created that helps show how awesome you are. Here's where you can be creative and fun. Because if you've got people to this point, they're going to be invested to get to the end, right? If you've passed that first initial 30 seconds, it's like picking up a newspaper. You're just going to look on whatever's above the fold. And if it's interesting, you might open the paper and continue reading. I hope that you put something together that people, when they look at it, they have nothing but a compulsion to continue forward. Next, we're going to add those different sections. So you're going to scroll past that first section until you have your next plus icon. Click the plus icon, and you're going to click the embed GIF or the GIF button. Now I want everybody to press Control or Command T on your keyboard to open up a new tab, and you're going to go to Giphy.com, GIPHY.com, and inside the Giphy.com website, you'll have the option to search tons and tons of GIFs. You can just use any one that you find. You're going to click it, and then once you click it, the new web address that shows the GIF at the top, that's what you would copy, and you would paste into the Giphy URL in the add GIF area. Once you're done, you're going to click Save. This is going to add a GIF to your web page. Remember the ones that I use? I just searched for Benny Spaceship. I found one that was like, oh, I like this. I clicked it. I copied the address. I plugged it directly into here. Next, we're going to do the same thing, but instead of GIF, we're going to hit the plus and choose video. You're going to go and find some YouTube video that either a personal development that speaks to you or something that you have created. Preferably if it's stuff that you've created, that's beneficial because with the exception of the Giphy material, I think as much as you can show your own work, remember this is your portfolio. So if you've got a video, upload your video. Or, you know what might be nice? Get out your phone, put it on a tripod, record yourself doing a little 2-minute video. Hi, I'm Deuce Brand. I'm a web developing graphic artist, social media director who does blah, blah, blah. And maybe you just read the stuff from your portfolio, but in a video form. And then you save that video to YouTube. You copy that URL from YouTube and you place it into your portfolio. Next, in the next section, you're going to delete all of the other placeholder text for all of the other sections. You can simply click on each section and hit the delete trash can. As you delete stuff, it will automatically drop off. Or if it's like a text field, if you delete all the text, that field will delete. So, for instance, you've got a bunch of photos of kids in glide shows and different things that are at the bottom of that template. Just delete it because it's not what you need. Next, you're going to add 3 to 6 of your portfolio projects that you're most proud of. Some of you already have stuff. Great. Add it. If you do not have anything currently, mess around in Adobe Express over the weekend and create some portfolio items. Remember, you can always add to this later, but for this project, you will need to add 3 to 6 portfolio projects that you're most proud of. Use the split layout with the image on one side and information about the project on the other side. Now, guess what? You could do a video explaining the project. You could create a GIF on Giphy and you could use that in your project. You could add text. There's all kinds of options. Everything that we've talked about can be done in these. Now, I don't want you to copy my exact layout and then just recreate it. I want you to be creative. I want your 3 to 6 portfolio objects or items to show your particular style. I want you to create your own themed web page with the colors that make sense to you and your choice of fonts. All these things, it's our personality. You're building your brand, and your brand should be completely unique to you. That's what's going to separate you in a job market versus 10 other people that all look the same. Imagine if everybody showed up to the interview and they're all wearing blue suits, a white shirt, and a solid color tie. And then there's one guy who comes in and he's wearing a yellow suit. Well, who do you think they're going to remember after all the interviews? The guy in the yellow suit. Now, it's up to that guy to make an impression, or gal, right? Do something different. Be unique. That's the way to stand out especially in this competitive field. So I recommend figure out what your style is. And if you don't know, remember what we did with Dreamweaver. Create a mood board, create a description, ask yourself, what do I want to be known for? What are the verbs, actions, and what are the words that describe me? If you are truly bold, and you don't have to do this, but find a couple people that love you and ask them. Go, hey George, what are 3 words you'd use to describe me? Right? And here's the thing, they might say something that's hurtful. They might say something that's true. They may say something that they're just saying it to make you feel good, right? There's some friends that you could be like, I just hit a cat with the car, and they'd go, oh, I'll come and help you. Like you say something negative, and no matter what it is, they're there to back you up. We all have those friends, right? But then we also have those like mean friends. Does anyone else have a mean friend that you're like, at least I know that they're honest? So you want to ask these people, how would you describe me? If I was 3 different colors, what would they be? What are 3 character traits that you like about me? And maybe they'll say something and they'll go, Deuce, you're dependable, you're loyal, I know I can count on you. So that might be kind of my brand that I create. Maybe with the fonts, and everybody remembers that lesson that we had on the different fonts, you could find the personality within the font, and you can design this. Even though it is limited, you can define that. Next, I got the GIF, the video, and then all of your portfolio objects, and then use any of the available options to present your projects. If you do this for the layout, where you switch the layout, alternate it. Don't, unless your purpose is to be very symmetrical, do your best to have an alternate or a switch and to change things to make it visually appealing, because especially if it gets very, very long, you need something that is going to keep attention. Next, work on customizing the theme and the look and feel of your site. So once you've added all this stuff, go back into the theme, the magic wand at the top, change your fonts, change your colors, make it your own. Next, when you're done with your website, you need to publish it. We do this by clicking the share button at the top right of the page. Once you click the share button, you can choose how you want to share it. We're going to publish to the web. Once you click publish to the web, you're going to get your publish options. You're going to change all of your publish options. Then you're going to either turn on or off with these toggle buttons, any of the options. Maybe you want others to be able to remix and reuse your template. Turn it on. Maybe you want to have your author portion displayed. Turn it on. Password protection for this project, do not password protect it, because I need to be able to view it. And if it's password protected, I won't. So leave that off. But in the future, maybe you have something that's just for a very specific person. And maybe you want to password protect it. That's an option. Next, you're going to have publish or republish. So I've already published this site. So my screen says republish. On your site, it might say publish. You're going to click that button to publish. It's going to do its processing. Then when it's done, in the share, you're going to have your share link right here. You can copy this or hit the copy button. You play it in your browser, it's your website. You can have as many of these websites as you want, web pages with Adobe Express. It's super, super powerful. Then this is one step that I ask that you take it a step further. Take the URL, share it with several people who love you. Super important that you go to people that actually care about you. Don't go to your enemy and ask for advice. I'm just saying, right? Don't put this on your Facebook to the world, because all of the people that hate you are going to put all kinds of terrible comments, and that's not helpful. So I suggest instead, go to somebody who you care about, a spouse, a parent, a friend, and you simply say, hey, would you review my new portfolio and give me an honest review? I'm not looking for, oh, everything looks great. Oh, that's great, honey. No, none of that. I want specifics. Take their advice, take their critique, make some adjustments, make this as best as you can. Congratulations, you're done.